Yeah, doing all right.
What made you start down that road? Did you want to, or did you
Not wanting to die.
Oh yeah, that's a motivator.
That's where I went with. Yeah.
Do you notice that this is what I noticed too, and it happened with guys that I know as you get older, and when people you know start dying of natural causes, like we all know people have killed themselves.
Oh,
or
it's
fucking
always
overdosed.
weird. It's so weird. Hey, I was friends with Patton Oswalt's wife.
Oh, I didn't know her. I know Patton well, but
She was a great woman. He was just so lucky. She was just a rocker. As a matter of fact, the thing I'm coming to promote, my Netflix mystery movie, I would call her to ask her if things were real. Would somebody do this? Because she knew everything about police procedure. She knew everything about murder. And her website's still up, by the way. She's a great writer.
What did she do? She was a writer of fiction or nonfiction?
True crime.
Oh, true crime.
True crime. Yeah, and...
so she just spent all her time researching.
Yeah, it's called True Crime Diary. Patton's left it up. The writing there is impeccable. I really look forward to her book. She has a book coming out.
So she would write about famous cases or cases that we didn't know about?
No, she would figure them out.
Oh,
and people would get caught because of her. She was born to have a TV series based on her.
What did she die? Did she
the natural cause thing? The natural cause thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just a freak accident, right? But it sucks. Like, and Jeannie Gaffigan, Jim Gaffigan's wife, had to have emergency brain surgery. Like, once you start knowing people that have shit go wrong,
yep,
you're like, fuck, man, I'm getting older because people are dying or having medical stuff. Like,
yeah,
I gotta take care of myself.
You're a vulnerable thing when you're a human being.
Are you single?
No, I'm married.
Oh, I didn't even. Okay,
yeah.
So
I don't believe in marriage, but I'm married.
Well, how long?
20. It'll be 24 years this summer.
So before all the fame happened.
Yes, as they say, but that's not because also, that. By the way, I actually have no interest in that, in terms of like being with anyone who's like, And by the way, most people who would be with me would be because of the fame. But
I'm only interested in people who want to fuck me because of my.
Why are you not interested in groupies?
It's meaningless to me.
Right.
I'd rather have a nice nap.
At this point in your life,
that's probably why you're successful, though, because you're not concentrating on bullshit. Like Bill Gates, all those guys don't concentrate on bullshit. They concentrate on their work and their career, and
I'm building up my own Microsoft. That's what I'm doing. No, marriage is antiquated.
Yeah.
Monogamy is antiquated. Monogamy is great if you want to be monogamous. It's fantastic. Good for you.
And it does take a lot off your plate.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
there's nothing to worry about.
Nothing
now.
to worry
You're just
about.
Like, let's do other stuff.
So it's great if you want to, but it's all stuff. I mean, marriage was invented for people who lived to 30.
That's a good point. And I also think like the whole monogamy thing, my theory on that is way back in biblical times, there was no cure for VD. So you wanted a virgin, and because if a girl had something with her, if she was a virgin, you knew she didn't have anything, and that would kill you. So that to me is where a lot of that probably came from, is if you had one that was clean, you fucking kept it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to not be monogamous? I
always wanted to not be monogamous.
Oh, is it hard?
No.
It's hard. It's not hard to be faithful.
No.
For me, it always was.
No. I mean, it is, but no, it's not. The women that I want to be with are my friends, and they're not the kind of women that fuck a married man. So
the women you tend to like.
I can't fuck my friends. I have lots of friends I want to have sex with.
Yeah.
But that's not who they are.
Right.
And
I get that.
Why the hell do I want to be with a groupie? I don't know these people. Because for me, as I get older, it's more of an emotional thing than a physical thing. When you're in your 20s, this is just me. I would have sex with a girl I hated if I thought she was hot.
Sure.
That's virtually impossible right now. If I didn't dig and respect somebody and didn't have a personal connection, I don't even know if I could get a boner.
But there's a personality type, too, that when you get married, because I do the same thing, like you're going to stay monogamous because it's just your personality, but you end up making friends with all the women that you would have wanted to have sex with. And also, because they will be friends with you, but even if you were single, they probably... I know in my case, wouldn't have sex.
Well, I actually wrote a joke years ago. I said that I'd be on Melrose Avenue and I'd see a pretty girl across the street and I'd point at her and go, man, if I wasn't married, I'd still be standing here pointing at you.
You can. There is a marriage confidence where you can kid yourself that I could.
But the reality is, okay, I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm guessing by the way you talk, there's a certain quality that you have that is you seem like a warm real person.
Yes.
Okay. But
He's
a
neither of
woman,
those things.
a woman is going to eventually dig you. You just have to put in the work.
Right, that's exactly right.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's not like you walk up and
Very
go,
astute.
"Hey, sister," and boom, she's in. It's the putting in the work
Yes,
thing.
unless it's his
So
actual
you
sister.
the reality is, you can pretty much get anyone you want if you put in the work.
Right.
You can, and there is
you
no
have to put
kidding yourself. And I'm talking about ridiculously beautiful women, all different types of women. If you have something in your soul, you'll eventually win.
But I'm married and I have a kid now.
He
enjoy
cheats
it.
though. He does
Enjoy
cheat.
it.
That's it.
He
Yeah.
does cheat on his wife, but he's open about that.
Oh,
That's
good.
That's not the
I
case.
know. I can tell by your face.
I do not.
But a lot
do
of
that.
times, I think what you're saying is, and I don't disagree. Like I grow on people, you grow on people. Like none of us, let's be honest, except for Troy, who's really handsome. Like any woman that's ever fucked me, it's never been like, wow, I gotta fuck that. It's like there's a personality thing which makes them
What
want
do
to
you
fuck
mean
you.
you grow on
eventually.
women? You told a woman that you like to have things shoved in your ass on a first date.
I'm not saying it's. I've never made missteps. I'm only saying.
But by the way, I love that that's a first date, not third. First.
She asked.
Yeah.
She asked, but it's one of
And
those.
she had a bag full of tools.
So you do change what turns you on after a while. Like
Yeah.
as you get older, I hate to say it, but yeah, it is more mental. I don't just like I don't fuck people the first time I hang out with them, and it's like I just don't want to at this point.
Well, because there's nothing when you've got that thing going when you're young. When I say young, I'm talking about 20s, teens.
Yeah.
You want to fuck a hand puppet of a woman. You know what I mean? You just want to. It's just like, let's go.
Yeah.
I don't care. And then it becomes because, by the way, in Hollywood,
Just masturbate
I'm
me
surrounded.
with that sock on.
But I meant shadow puppet. By the way, it didn't work the way I wanted.
Sorry, hand puppet's fine.
And hand puppet's fine too. No, but I'm surrounded in LA by beautiful women. I see them every day. I mean, when you think of who moves to Los Angeles, it's the hot girl from the school. You know, the hottest, funniest kid from the school, hottest girl from the school, all that stuff. And so, unless there's a person there, it's so not interesting.
Right. Yeah, because they're all over the place.
Yeah. They're as common as a Mexican or a sushi restaurant. Mexican, like in LA, you go into any Mexican restaurant or any sushi restaurant, odds are it's great.
Because they're everywhere.
Those are the only two kinds.
Because they have to be to survive out there. Because there's so many. The competition.
There's so many the competition. So you go into one. At worst, it's going to be really good.
Right.
Of those.
How did you meet your wife? Was she a performer, or did you meet her?
Oh, actually, I met her. She was my agent in Chicago. She likes to joke that she got more than 10%.
Okay, so you met her and you knew you loved her immediately, or did it take a while?
No. I knew I was charmed by her and I thought she was adorable, but she pursued me for almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So she just liked what you did, and I guess you got to know each other. And is she still
Yeah.
your agent or no?
No. And she doesn't even have that many opinions agent-wise. She has opinions about everything. Not much of that.
Not about agent wise.
Yeah.
And you're not even promoting to promote Jeff's film. It's called Handsome.
But Curb comes out in October. I can tell you that.
Okay, a Netflix Netflix mystery movie is available exclusively tomorrow on Netflix, and it's Jeff Garlin, Garlin, in case you don't know, on Instagram, or Jeff Garlin Official on Facebook. And I've heard it's really good. You play a kind of a detective in this.
Yeah, I play a homicide detective named Gene Handsome, and I'm really good at my job.
Is it all? Again,
But I'm not good at the other stuff.
Is it 100% scripted, or is it 100%?
No, it's scripted.
It is, okay.
Oh, I should say 100%. I encourage actors that I direct and work with to improvise if the moment takes us, or I'll say, let's try this. But it's scripted, yeah.
And you had, and it literally just reminded me many years ago, Patrice was a very loved guy on this show, and you had a nice moment with him.
I had the best moment
at the
with him.
like an unpleasant interaction at one point. We all did tough crowd.
It was unpleasant, but it wasn't that.
Right,
you were
right.
there, if I'm not mistaken.
I may have
I'm
been.
almost positive.
What was the moment?
It was on Colin's
crowd.
show.
Tough crowd.
He, my reputation is as an improviser. That's
Sure.
I don't have an act. I've never had. I mean, I shouldn't say never. When I was younger, I did, but since I've been established, I don't have an act. I literally just go up. And Patrice said to me as we were sitting there on the air, he goes, "Is that all the great Jeff Garlin has?" And I hadn't even started. I just said one thing. And I go, "You are so messing with the wrong guy." And we were ripping each other on the air. All right. So I'm not going to say a lot of years, but a few years go by. I'm standing on 57th Street and Broadway, and Patrice walks up to me, and I go, "Hey, Patrice," and he goes, "Hey, man, I just want to apologize," and I go, "You're apologizing for the thing before?" I go, "That's very nice of you." And it was so heartfelt, and he was so sincere about what he said to me, that he was coming from a place of insecurity and all this stuff. And I was so moved by it. We gave each other a big hug, and
Wow.
I was so, and I, of course, was like everyone, and I'm sure especially you, one of your best friends,
Right?
Just devastated at losing him. By the way, I always thought was the irony is I always thought he was funny, always respected him. So it did take me when it happened on the show. I was like, what?
Were you pissed when he was doing it on the show?
No, because it's not. Here's the thing. I was more at that point of my life out of control of my ego. When I say out of control, right? I used to think I could eliminate my ego. That's ignorance. But at all times now, hopefully, I recognize ego and I go, no, thank you. Don't need it. So, but it was more of a defensive response than an ego response because it made me feel and look stupid, like, oh, I can't do what I'm doing, because I'd said like 2 sentences, hadn't even got to it yet.
But it's not crazy to think Patrice rubbed someone the wrong way.
I know that by reputation, but it's also becoming a man. You realize certain things, and obviously it stayed with him.
Yeah,
because he came up to me, and that was really remarkable.
Well, he felt bad about a lot. I remember you told me that years ago, and he had started to regret a lot of things, and you were one of them. And Lisa Lampanelli was one of them. He's like, I mistreated. Like, it was nice to see that he regretted a lot of the dumber things he did, and we all have those dumb things we do.
And unless you're a complete jagoff, if someone comes up and that's the joke of it. There's nothing more confident than you can do than make yourself vulnerable with another human being. And if the other human being rejects you, it's their problem. It's about them. And it's really one of the great moves of all time to be that way. And God bless him. That's
you know what he did, which shocked me. It might have been the last time No, it wasn't the last time I saw him. But it was the summer before he passed, and we were at Aunt's house. And he was barbecuing.
I remember that.
And he had met Jess, my wife, years before at one of the traveling comedy tours we were doing. And it was when she was still my girlfriend. And he ignored her as if she wasn't even in the room, which he did sometimes to
all of our girlfriends.
And, yeah, he just.
I have a friend who did that to my wife when she was my girlfriend, and he told me ahead of time. He goes, I'm not going to talk to her.
But it really like she was offended by it, and I was like, it's Patrice, it's what he does. Like, just relax. And it kind of sat with her for years. And so I was like, let's go say hi to Patrice, and she hadn't seen him. So we walked up to him, and I wanted to kind of give him the out and act like they'd never met. And I was like, hey, Patrice, this is my wife, Jess, blah, blah, blah. And instantly he goes, oh, no, I remember when we met before, and I was an asshole. Sorry about that. And shook her hand and said hello as if like.
But by the way, when you do that too, it frees the weight.
Yeah.
It frees, because you wonder a lot of times, like you meet somebody and there's a lot of crap going on with the way they're dealing with you and stuff. And you wonder, what are their times alone like when they're laying in bed and staring at the ceiling? What are they thinking of? But also the opposite of that is, so many assholes and truly evil people think they're great people.
Yes, and they never have that moment.
They never have that moment. They have no idea that they're spectacularly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you, because you're like I feel like you do stuff a lot. You know what I mean? Like you talk a lot. Like, are you an overthinker or do you just act?
No. Here's the thing, man. I am completely gregarious and happy like I am right now. Or I'm introverted. I'm very quiet and just stay to myself. But those are moments when I'm alone. Sometimes you can't help it. You're with other people and you feel quiet. But those are rare for me. When I'm around other people, I enjoy the exchange. But when I do transcendental meditation.
I wanted to ask you about that. You do it twice a day? What does it do for you, and how long do you do it?
Okay. It's 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes
per session. Okay.
Per session. It's effortless. And there's 2 things it helps you with that you guys will be interested in, because there are things. It helps me sort of, because you have your mantra, but then you float away and you think about things that are going on. You come up with answers to your life. And then it goes away. But you know what else you think of? Funny stuff. Like, it makes me so much funnier to meditate.
Really?
And when do you do it?
So I'm just saying to you, it's out there if you want it, because it just both things come to me. And the weird thing is, you know how like you'll be like, oh, I'll remember that later, and you never remember that later, which is a classic comedian thing. At night before, I'll remember it in the morning. You never do. You remember every funny thing from meditation.
Well, when you say like you come up with like life answers,
Yeah.
Are they good answers, or is it like shower thoughts where it's like you think of something, you're like, yeah, that's perfect, and then by the time you dry off, you realize it's a terrible idea.
It's deeper than that.
It is.
Yeah, and it's more like what's going on. But whenever you realize that you've drifted away from your mantra, you come back to your mantra. It's like going back and forth. But really, that's about the only effort it is.
When do you do it?
First thing I generally try to exercise, do 20 minutes on the arrow. I have a Schwinn Aerodyne.
Okay.
Those ones, the arms go back and forth.
Sure.
Do 20 minutes of that and 20 minutes of meditation. Then I have breakfast and shower.
Okay, so you start off with the meditation, and you it says you do it twice a day. Do you do it later?
I try and do it like if I'm filming. Sometimes I'll do it at lunch. If we're not set up yet, I'll go off and say I'm doing this for 20 minutes. So, and you know what's really cool? Like if you're at a hotel or someplace filming something, you say, is there a quiet place I can go to? They love helping you.
And is it really like you just sit there and you get into it? 'Cause I itch. I'm such a fucking little fidgety idiot.
But the point being is that you have to just give yourself up to it, but also go ahead and scratch yourself.
Okay.
Go ahead and, move your head. The point being is, it's not about tight rules. Yes, keep your eyes closed. Yes, try and repeat your mantra. Other than that, you're good. And you know what else I learned from my teacher? And by the way, my teacher was this woman in her 90s. She passed away a couple years ago. Her name was Nancy Cook Herrera. She learned from the Maharishi. And so I was taught from the Maharishi. And she was there with the Beatles, and her son was Bungalow Bill from the song Bungalow Bill.
Wow.
It's not a flattering song, but that was her son. I met him. He was a very nice guy.
What did she say about the Beatles?
She loved them.
She thought they were nice guys?
She thought they were great. And there was one guy who was with them who was giving them bad information about the Maharishi. And some of them believed it, like George was the one who stayed with it the most.
Yeah.
Also, Paul McCartney does TM.
Didn't he? I think Stern does it. Like, there's a lot of people that do
Jerry
it.
Seinfeld.
And they say it's tremendously helpful. And I've
Lena
been meaning
Dunham
to do
does
it
it.
for years. What's that?
Lena Dunham does it?
Does she?
Lena actually, I don't want to give myself credit. Never mind.
Oh, she got it from you.
No. I got Judd Apatow. Nancy Cook Herrera taught Lena, and my woman, and she taught Judd. I got Judd into it. Judd said, I want that. Judd's always a guy, by the way, and I say this, I swear to God, he's the nicest guy, but he wants everything. He wants to be involved in everything. He wants to be at every party. He wants you to give him a hug. He wants it all. Judd does. And he's like, you're doing that meditation. I want that. And so I gave him her. And so it was passed along. She was remarkable. And I'm lucky that I had her.
That makes me want to do it because I've heard so many good things about meditation. It's supposed
really,
to calm you.
I can't say enough good things. And by the way, I smoke pot, but I smoke pot indica at night when I'm feeling a little restless and I want to sleep. And I smoke pot on occasion just for enjoyment.
Not all the time.
No, I have too many things to do.
Right.
By the way, there's one negative from pot. You don't get your agenda done. Other than that, I see nothing wrong with it.
Well, I'm fascinated with like Joe Rogan, who can fucking do edibles, and then he goes hunting, and he's cooking elk, and he's doing. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I think he's twins. I think he literally has a brother who does half the shit.
By the way, you might be right. Well, the thing is, like, Doug Benson, I don't know how much he gets really deeply high anymore, because your body does build up an immunity to it.
So he's smoking and smoking.
I think he actually eats his own shit, and he just gets him stoned again.
But I think that might be true with Joe Rogan too, that you get to a point where it doesn't, I don't know. I'm not an expert on that.
When did you learn transcendental meditation?
I learned it, I'll say 10 years ago, maybe.
Oh, okay. So it was as
It
an
was
adult and
more
everything.
recent.
Oh, yeah, as a man.
Yeah.
And what made you do it? Did you with like?
It just looked like something cool.
Oh, you just wanted to try it.
Well, no, I was an overthinker. I was filled with anxiety. I still have some anxiety, but I'm a different person, man. I am so completely not a thinker. I mean, it's not like I accept things, but for example, if I get pissed off about the government, I go outside and look at a tree. And if there's a breeze, even better. It's just, I'm not discounting what's going on, but it just puts me in a better place.
You try to balance it and just find something else to think about.
It's all got to be balanced. The obsession with the negativity or overthinking. By the way, the one thing I don't think about ever is my career.
Really?
I just do it. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to get it done. Boom. That's why I've been for years.
Your work, do you work all the time? Because
I do stand up constantly.
You wrote and directed and starred in this movie.
Yes.
You've got the Goldbergs.
Yes, and I'm about to do another
Curb
movie
is
for
coming
Netflix
back.
that I'm rewriting. The original script was good. I just need to make it more mine, but directing and starring in. It's not a mystery movie. It's a different movie.
Do you like having your hands on that? Because it's so much work, especially for somebody who's
No, I don't, is the answer. Because, for example, this past year, I filmed Curb Your Enthusiasm and The Goldbergs at the same time.
Yeah.
And it didn't affect my work. My work I stayed focused on, but it affected my joy. A lot of times I was just miserable and overtired, but I did what I had to do. And I feel, not to my knowledge was I jerky, but I felt jerky.
And you don't think about the prestige or where you are in career. You just think about the stuff you do.
Ever do I think that? And not only that, I haven't even achieved like the level of success I want. Like I want to do.
Who has the level you want? Like the level of success you want? Like we all look at like guys like a Seinfeld. Or like who do you look at and go like that's a guy whose success I would be cool with?
Well, to me, it'd be more like Albert Brooks or Woody Allen.
Okay.
I want to just, but what I really want right now. And by the way, I'm very content and happy, but I love working. And when you're successful, as you guys know, you got to work harder to keep up the success than making it. Being successful is so much harder than making it.
You catch that feeling of like, oh, this is what it feels like. And you're like, how the fuck am I going to keep it?
Yeah.
Like, how do I stop it from going away?
The key is to really work hard and do good work.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing that once you're successful, it should all work out. The minute you sell out, do something for money, you're screwed because people lose respect for you if you're in a position where people respect you. But my goal is to make like Frank Capra movies, to make movies like It's a Wonderful Life or Meet John Doe, like movies that are a larger budget but on theme about humanity and the challenges. I mean, Trump is such a great villain for, a Frank Capra movie, but you want to do a smaller version of it.
Yeah.
Well, you got into comedy because those old school guys, like I know Jimmy Durante made you, what he an actor or stand-up?
What happened was I always loved comedy. And my entire life, I used to watch comedy on Ed Sullivan, Johnny Carson, variety shows. I remember the first time I saw Albert Brooks was on a Flip Wilson show. Like it's all. But when I was 8 years old, I was the funniest kid in school. But I didn't know that could be a job. And we went to see Jimmy Durante in Chicago. And on the way home, I asked my parents if that was a job. And they said yes. And I said, well, that's a job that I want.
Yeah, it just seemed fun, right?
Oh, so fun. My
it's
favorite
amazing that
thing
your parents
is,
said yes, though.
They said it was a job.
Because a lot of
they didn't
parents
say yes, we want you to. They said yes.
It is a job, technically, yes.
But my favorite thing in terms of stand-up comedy, besides actually doing whatever, I love laughing at other comedians. Like my favorite comedian of all time is Jack Benny. And that was Jack Benny's reputation, that he laughed hard at other comedians. And I feel, man, I love laughing. I hate bad comedians, but man.
You don't enjoy watching comedians do poorly?
No. Hate it. I mean,
love nothing more.
But by the way, if we're sharing that experience, like the crowd hates us and there's no winning, that can be really joyful amongst comedians.
Yeah.
And I've had that.
But you don't just like seeing a guy go up and eat his balls.
Well, by the way, to be truthful, when you eat it, that's like saying, oh, the comedian tonight was breathing air. It comes with the territory.
It comes with like some guys bomb funny. Colin can bomb funny. David Tell is hilarious
when
he bombs.
Anyone who's funny bombs funny.
That's right.
It comes with it. And when it's tragic is when someone's not funny and you almost want to go, please let this scare you out of the business. But please get out.
Just leave.
But I don't see that many people in that situation like I used to as a younger comic. And I thought, why are they doing it? But when someone's funny, the bombing's hilarious because they're being funny. And they're more being funny for you. Because then it becomes inside, and I love it.
What I like about watching a good bomb, though, is when you watch a guy and you know all the tricks we'll do to get out of it. Like when you'll lapse into, all right, I got to do something from the A piece of material. Whatever you do, the tricks, and when the tricks aren't working. That, like, to get the audience, like when you're out there exploring new material, it bombs, and then we bring the audience back in. Watching someone eat their dick and not be able to pull out of it,
awesome.
Love it.
You know what I saw? What's his name? Oh, crap. He passed away years ago. He was...
Geraldo, Richard Jenny, or long before that?
Not long before that. Shortly before that. What's his name? He went on to be huge in England.
Oh, Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks. So I saw Bill Hicks in Chicago once at the Funny Firm Comedy Club, which is no longer there. And I saw him eat it like huge time. I saw him get in a hole that I never seen anybody get into. I'm talking about, this is like a half hour in. He's not getting any laughs, and he dug himself out of the hole in a way that I never seen anybody dig themselves out of the hole. To when the end, I'm not going to say it was a standing ovation, because those are always, like, really a standing ovation? Those are so hard to come by in a comedy club. But by the end, they loved him, and he was killing. I remember being with Sam Kinison, before Sam Kinison was famous. I started in Fort Lauderdale, and he came down, and of course, the first time I saw him, he was what he was, and so my eyeballs popped out of my head. I'm like, what is this? But the audience's reaction to him were either it was killing at a level that I'd never seen anybody kill, or as if somebody pulled a fire alarm and they had to get out of the room that quickly. Like, I saw rooms of 300 people, and I'm not exaggerating, 3/4 of them gone in 20 minutes.
Wow.
3/4. Like, they couldn't take it. And he'd scream at them. Oh, amazing.
Who those who liked it, and those who hated it really hated it.
But that shows he was great. I mean, to me, the greatest thing about making films, doing stand-up, is sort of living and dying by your personal sword. Who are you? What are you about? When an actor will ask, hey, man, what are they looking for? No. What do you have to give? Who are you?
Right.
Because that might be not what they're looking for, and then they go, we want that.
They don't know what they're looking for.
But you never get it when you do what you think they're looking for.
Right.
And that's stand-up, that's movies, doesn't matter. You got to be you.
Jeff
like
Garlin,
you, Jim.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sure, pal.
They're telling us Jeff has to go. We're going to take a break. But I love Jeff. The movie is on Netflix tomorrow. It's called Handsome, a Netflix mystery movie. You can get it on Netflix tomorrow all around the world. Or Jeff Garlin on Instagram, Garlin. And come back anytime, man. It's so good to see you.
The cast,
I will.
by the way. The cast is great of this movie. It's got Leah Remini. It's got Natasha Lyonne in it.
Yeah, everyone's great. And I wrote the parts for them. So before they even said yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so.
Great.
Happy to see you, buddy.
What a joy to be here.
Good to see you,
You
man.
guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, man.
I say enjoy your good looks.
Thank you. Well, yeah.